Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
Adam Silver on ESPN, Cooper Flagg going to Dallas, but is this actually a good spot for what we believe is going to be a generational talent? Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Pearl, you brought up a great point yesterday, and now it bears repeating because it's official. Flagg's going to Dallas.
Yeah.
Did these timelines actually match up, where Flagg is now being asked to be maybe the second or third best player on a team that's got stars that are in their 30s?
Also, 2 stars. When you say timelines, what's this timeline for Anthony Davis between games 24 and 46?
Great question.
No, I mean, I think Nico Harrison's been selling this model that they're ready to compete right now. And Stephen A. Smith seemed to jump right in yesterday, but not to me at all. Cooper Flagg is one of the youngest number 1 picks ever. We're talking about when does a player become a championship level player? 25, so 7 years.
Really?
This generation of Mavericks does not strike me. I don't think it matches up at all. I don't think they're going to be a championship team. I can't believe that people are talking about them like that. I mean, Vegas is not talking like about it. They don't consider them a contender at all. But Stephen A. last night on draft coverage, took me a while to find him, by the way. I was on the ESPN.
Where was I? I didn't see any Stephen A. last night.
This happened to everybody. ESPN had Kendrick Perkins and some people.
Jay Billis.
On ABC, Stephen A. and Bob Myers were doing it with Kevin and Gandhi.
Oh.
So nobody knew that. Like, the ESPN didn't tell anyone, so it was very confusing. Anyway, Stephen A. Was all in on the Mavs being ready now. I don't buy it at all. I don't think that they're going to be able to stay healthy enough to be a contender. In the West, I've always been skeptical of Kyrie and Anthony Davis' durability. And what's the key to winning a title right now in the NBA? The single most important thing?
Health and defense?
Not getting injured.
Yeah.
And you're right, defense too.
So listen, I understand the Mavericks are getting all types of A's and A pluses and all these draft grades are really grading them out high. But I'm also extremely skeptical. You and I usually don't see sports through the same lens, but I think in this one, we're maybe in lockstep here. Now, I get it. You got a good deal on Gafford. You know, he took a nice team-friendly deal. Kyrie Irving is technically, an air quotes good deal, but he's 33 years old. He's rehabbing from an ACL, and he just signed a 3-year extension for over $100 million. And Anthony Davis has obviously got all the injury concerns that he has. Can I add a couple on top? You have no idea if Jason Kidd's going to be your head coach. Now, maybe you don't think Jason Kidd is the difference, right? Maybe you don't even think that he's a difference maker. But I got to be honest, look at what the Knicks are going through now who want Jason Kidd. It's kind of hard to fill this spot. You want to go from a guy who was coaching you in a NBA Finals to potentially getting rid of Jason Kidd because those rumors will not die. They will not give Jason Kidd another extension, and the Knicks have not hired anybody. And even Cooper Flagg last night had something to say about it. Manny, can we hear from Flagg, please? Said, and this was our very own Zach Gelb who asked the question. Gelb at the presser last night. How about that? Flagg says he hasn't received any assurances that Jason Kidd will be his head coach.
No, I haven't had those conversations yet at all. But I think talking with, Coach Kidd, my workout, and even after I got picked, I was on the phone with him for a minute. I think he's just excited. He has a good vision for me and what I can do and how I can impact the game. So I'm excited to just talk to him more.
Okay, great. Wow. Yeah, no, awesome. But, he also, we're getting reports that his dream job is to be a New York Knicks head coach, and he might not even be there. Meanwhile, assistant coaches in Dallas are fleeing as well. And add on top of it, no one trusts Nico Harrison because why would you? And the ownership is brand new and they're a wild card. So in some ways, Pearl, I get, Stephen A's good, likes it, and everyone's giving the Mavs A+, A+. Is Cooper Flagg actually walking into a good situation? I don't know that he is.
Wait. I still give him an A+.
Oh, well, that's only because of luck of ping pong balls.
Yeah. You get an A because you lucked out.
Did they earn it?
But that being said, what difference does any of this mean to Cooper Flagg's career? This is all short term.
Okay,
Cooper Flagg's still 18 years old. When he's ready to win, none of these people are going to be around. Nico will not be there, I hope. If he's still there, then there's something wrong. Jason Kidd may or may not be there. Kyrie won't be there. Anthony Davis won't be there. So who cares about this first year?
Well, because extrapolate that out. If you are a franchise who thought it was a good idea to trade Luka Doncic, what else are you possibly capable of?
Well, I assume you're going to fire Nico Harrison. Is that an unfair assumption?
How assume? Well, assume nothing. I mean, he's there. He's entrenched. They're going to fire Nico Chance at the Mavs draft party. No one seems to care.
They must be looking for an off-ramp there, Maggie.
I think that the ownership was in lockstep with him. I think that I don't think that happened where he had to go in and convince anybody. I think they were in lockstep, and now they have to give the guy a little bit of runway to see this come to fruition. And remember, Nico Harrison was saying, we're trading Luka Doncic because we feel like we can win right now with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. And meanwhile, Kyrie then suffers an ACL injury, and we're not going to see him for a long time.
Well, that's
it all backfired.
Yeah, but that's a long time ago. None of that has anything to do with Cooper Flagg. That's ancient history in NBA terms. We know that Luka Doncic trade failed disastrously.
Right.
That's done.
Okay, wait.
But Cooper Flagg is going to be a whole different era. So basically, you got a clean break from that. So I'm not sure any of that really affects big picture over the 15-year career of Cooper Flagg.
I'm just saying, you've got a new owner now.
Yeah.
You have a GM that nobody likes or trusts, and now you have a situation where your head coach, this is anything but stable. Bad franchises stay bad when you have bad ownership potentially, or you have bad general managing potentially. So,
know what fixes bad franchises? Generational players,
or they crush good players and they waste them.
Well, great players like obviously LeBron most famously went to a bad franchise
and had to leave.
Yeah,
I mean,
but he got them to the finals. Yeah,
and then was like, "Get me the hell out of here."
I mean, yeah, eventually, but still, he won a title in Cleveland eventually. I mean, listen, after they'd take 8 years of LeBron in Dallas, that'd be amazing. I think look at Kobe. I mean, Kobe came in, the Lakers were down, and he turned them around. And you go throughout history, that's what a top pick does.
Okay,
they make everybody else look great.
Yeah, or you have a situation where the top pick is working out, but then everyone around them can't get their you-know-what together, and that top pick has to leave. And I don't know which way this is going to go. I'm just saying for people who believe that Cooper Flagg is going to no doubt that this is going to work here with the Mavericks, who got this. It's like the Lakers. Like they got this thing, fell into their lap. They had a less than 2% chance to land the number one overall pick. You can't mess up that kind of a gift. Like you mentioned the Cavaliers. How many first-round picks did they get to try to overcompensate for LeBron leaving? And they basically got one that panned out in Kyrie Irving. They traded the other one, and then Anthony Bennett is one of the all-time biggest draft disasters that's ever happened.
There was nobody else in that. The whole draft was bad.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like
they won a title.
Because LeBron decided to come back
they had that
graces.
number one pick that they could sell for Kevin Love. Anyway, I just think you're looking way too short term. Cooper Flagg is literally 18. Kyrie Irving just signed a 3-year deal. I don't know if it's an extension or a deal, but he's going to be long gone by the time Cooper Flagg peaks. Like, what are we talking about here? This is a draft pick. This is an immediate. We're talking about the same thing on the plug and play and be ready to be a contender immediately. I don't see that happening. But he's an 18-year-old kid. Like, you're building around Cooper Flagg. Now the whole game changed for Dallas, and that's exciting. You definitely give them an A. I mean, I know it was lucky, but sometimes you luck into an A.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not. They didn't earn the A. They might be getting it.
They didn't earn the A, but they got the A.
Okay, fine. But here's the situation: when Nico Harrison trades Luka, the Luka trade is sprinkled on top of this thing. No matter how you want to slice it, it's still very much a shadow over what's going on now. You trade Luka because either you didn't want to pay him because you thought he had smoked too much hookah and drank too much beer. I think you got to give him a D. Or because you actually believe this BS that you're selling, that you are actually more of a championship contender with Anthony Davis and with Kyrie Irving right now. So either way you slice this, we're skeptical. But they were selling, we're a contender. Now you get the amazing luck of getting Cooper Flagg. Of course, championship contender is what that's the bar they've set.
Wait, help me out here.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have had this pick if Luka was still in Dallas, because they would have had a slightly higher position. So they snuck into the lottery. So there's no Cooper Flagg without the Luka trade. So give them an A.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I mean, I can't twist myself into this kind of pretzel to somehow give the Mavs an A.
But you said, there's a connective tissue between the trade and getting Cooper Flagg.
Yes.
I mean, for better or worse.
Yeah, because they sold you, the Mavs and Nico Harrison sold you that this is now a team closer to a title before they even got Flagg. With just Davis and Kyrie and the other pieces, they were closer to a title than they were with Luka.
Yeah, we all know that wasn't true.
Okay, but
that happened 6 months ago, Maggie. We did that 100 times on the show. That's done. The Cooper Flagg thing is a whole new animal. Like, okay, we screwed that up, but now we have this generational guy. There's no team building in the NBA. It's you luck into Tim Duncan, you luck into LeBron James. Maybe the Mavs lucked into Cooper Flagg. Like, honestly, what did the Cavs do to get LeBron James?
Thunder built pretty well.
What's that?
Thunder built pretty well.
Oh, okay. You get this one-off championship, and now the whole way the last 40 years of the NBA was irrelevant because the Thunder lucked into a finals because everybody else got hurt.
I don't think that's actually how it went. I mean, they were the best team in the NBA this entire season, and they made a trade, an all-time trade, where they took advantage of a team in the Clippers who were trying to star chase.
You're right, and I guess the Nuggets lucky into Jokic, the Bucks lucky into Giannis. Like that's not really how you win in the NBA. It's you build a 12 team. It's so star-driven and it's so random. Like, yes, the Mavs might be the biggest idiots in the world, but they got Cooper Flagg, and you know that. And forget Kyrie and forget AD. Like, this is going to be good for Dallas. Like, this is a cornerstone of your franchise. It's going to take a while, but I think in the long term, you can't not give them an A.
Let's hear from Nico Harrison. So, obviously GM of the Mavs on winning back the goodwill of the Mavs fans because they got lucky and got the number one pick.
I think it's been great. I mean, I've seen the fans react to that since the number one pick, and it feels like they're feeling really good and optimistic about the future.
Yeah, they love him, not you. They don't trust you. They don't trust ownership. They don't trust. How could a Mavs fan ever trust anyone associated with the Mavs? They are just like, phew, our team may not be totally irrelevant for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nico Harrison to take victory laps on that is bananas.
Well, regardless, like if you're a Mavs fan, you're psyched, right? I mean, aren't you going out and getting that number 32 Flagg jersey? I mean, Eddie, all that is true. It all happened.
Yeah.
Fire Nico has been yelled 1,000 times,
including last night.
But it doesn't make any difference to if you're a 10-year-old fan in Dallas. You are buying that Flagg jersey, and you are excited to watch the next 12 years of this guy.
Except, I think there is so much, to me, uncertainty around the Mavs that I don't think at this moment, I don't know if I trust them with Cooper Flagg.
Right.
Because they had Luka Doncic and clearly didn't know what they had. And which is insane because they got to the finals, and Nico Harrison even admitted after the fact, not from a basketball perspective, but from a fan perspective, he said, I didn't know that Luka was this popular. They don't know what they're doing down there. They may get lucky with this. That you can't give them credit for like finding their you-know-what from their elbow and being like, ta-da, like the magic trick worked. It's just it seems like by chance to me.
Yeah, of course.
Right, so I can't give them an A. I can't give them an A.
But here's where we disagree. It doesn't really matter how you got the A. Like, yes, it was blind luck. They had a 1.2% chance, and they won. But doesn't make the pick not an A. No one would have gotten them a bad grade if they had taken another player besides Cooper Flagg. It's like, and the number one pick, they take Jeremiah Fears. That's a B.
Yeah.
What difference does it make? I mean, again, how many times have champions been built by lottery luck? A lot.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Do the Mavs deserve to be doing victory laps today, which it does feel like
No. Don't deserve. What is this word deserve? What does deserve have to do with anything? Should the Mavs be taking victory laps today? And the answer is yes in all caps. Not deserve. What difference does that make when the ball tips off next year, whether they deserve to be in that spot or not?
I've told you, I don't trust them.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, if Nico survives off this, that's a problem. But he can't really survive.
He's out here taking bows.
They have to burn out at some point, right? Like, he cannot. There's no way that this guy can last. That seems impossible to me.
And what happens if he burns out, Jason Kidd leaves, owners don't want to pay, whatever the situation is? You mentioned LeBron James, and the Cavs got lucky. Yeah. What did LeBron do? He left.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
And I don't know if Flagg is going to do that. We're projecting way far down the line here, but I just don't think anything is certain in Dallas.
If LeBron was playing in Dallas, I don't know if he leaves. That's a popular place to play. That's a nice little spot there. And also, LeBron stayed a long time in Cleveland. You're making it seem like he left immediately. If you get the Cleveland era of LeBron out of Cooper Flagg, that's an A. That's an A+. It's an A++.
I know, but what did LeBron say when he left? I don't want to be 30 years old with bad knees and no rings.
That's okay. So you're giving that a B now? Like maybe the Cavs should have taken Dwayne Wade.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So on the table for you, Cooper Flagg in Dallas and the expectations there. And whether you're giving them an A. Do you think this is going to work? And by work, we mean contender, not work be, they have to.
They have to be a contender?
Well, I mean, you said it yourself. The window's not that big for these guys, Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's probably not back until what? The All-Star break?
To me, those guys are somewhat a bit irrelevant. And Jason Kidd is totally irrelevant. Like, I don't see, is he going to hang around for 7 years until Cooper's ready to win? I kind of doubt it.
888-710-4ISN. Okay, you're welcome to weigh in on that. We have another huge storyline from last night, and a player who really tried to get himself, we think, to a certain team. And that backfired. So we'll get to that next. Plenty to get to with the NBA draft. We have so much on tap for you today, including the Mount Olympus of Maggie and Perloff. Today, the 4 sports gods from Baltimore. Do that a little bit later on. Let's go. 888-710-4ISN.
What's going on in Utah?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Wesley Financial. Stuck in a timeshare and want out? Contact Wesley Financial Group now and get a free timeshare exit information kit at wesleyfinancialgroup.com. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Maggie, I don't know if you're like me. I love the details of the NBA draft. Like, what's this guy wearing? Where, this random Chinese dude coming out of the stands and not being able to button his jacket. The guys who can't even speak because they're crying so hard, and the moms who are crying so hard, and the brother, the Knipple family was enough to, there were so many bizarre details of this draft in particular. But I think the biggest storyline last night might have been Ace Bailey.
I think it definitely was because he was one of the biggest storylines heading into the draft. Now, if you guys don't know, Ace Bailey is an incredible talent. Nobody is denying that he deserves to be a top pick in the draft, but he handled the pre-draft process in such a bizarre way. He's the only American-based draft prospect who refused to do individual workouts with any team. And we're not just talking about the workouts. Get a cup of coffee. Get dinner. Get to know somebody you're about to give $40 million to guaranteed. Like, I can understand why a team might want to meet that person in person. And he wouldn't do it. And a lot of people speculated that was because he wanted to go to a certain team. And those teams were outside the top 5, either the Wizards, the Pelicans, or the Nets.
Jeez.
I don't know why I picked that murderer's row of winners, but
oh my God.
This was the thought, is that he wanted to go to one of those teams because he thought they would afford him a lot of minutes to play and that he could become a big star.
Yeah, I don't understand why anybody would want to go to those 3 franchises. And he will probably start. Utah needs a 3, so it's a kind of a perfect fit basketball-wise for him.
Right, so It's funny because he ends up going 5 to the Utah Jazz. So all of this pre-draft nonsense of not working out and trying to get yourself to a certain place completely backfired. Now, does he actually want to go to Utah? We have no idea, but you and I were talking about this before the show, and I'm like, if you're once a pain in the butt, are you always a pain in the butt? Like, if you did this in the pre-draft process and you really tried to manipulate your way to one place or a couple places, and then it doesn't work and you go somewhere else, is he just going to fall in line now and be cool with this, or is he still going to continue to be a story?
Well, that's a great question, but I pointed out in the pre-show meeting, Kobe Bryant. I mean, there's nobody played more hardcore pre-draft process than Kobe Bryant, and he is arguably the greatest character player in the history of the league, and he went to LA. So not only was he a team player, at least when he got there, he was everything you could possibly want in the mentality of a player, and he played hardball times 10.
Okay, but a couple things happened where he got there. First of all, he wanted to go to the LA Lakers, which is where
he demanded going there, and he did go there.
Right, which is where every star wants to be. Not exactly Utah, so it's a little bit different venue. And then also when Shaquille O'Neal comes along as well, and you have this amazing dynasty and you are dominant, even though the two of them didn't get along, it was really fruitful. So of course there was a great reason to fall in line. Ace Bailey is going to a team that was literally the worst team in the NBA last year. It's in a small market. And
so you're saying
it's not Phil Jackson as the head coach. Like, there's not, no disrespect to Will Hardy, but even he would say he's not even close to that. And so it's like you're not going to this ready-made awesome situation like Kobe was able to thrive in.
Oh, so you're saying if Ace Bailey had gotten to go where he wanted to go, then he'd be good in character. But since Kobe had been drafted by, say, the Sixers who wanted him,
or Charlotte,
or
who
Charlotte,
wanted him,
right?
Who
Charlotte did
draft him and traded him, right?
Right. If the Nets want him at 8, right? Like if he'd gone there, you're saying he would not have been a good character. Okay, but
we don't know. Like and that's what I'm saying. If you're once a pain in the butt, are you always a pain in the butt? We don't know the answer. But I know Ace Bailey. People said this was very out of character for him.
Nice kid is what everyone says.
Nice kid, maybe representation was trying to play hardball. Maybe they were a little inexperienced. So did they all of a sudden become experienced? Because why? They went through last night where a team they didn't want potentially drafted their guy and called their bluff. Like,
well, I mean,
they're still inexperienced.
He probably ended up better than Washington because Washington has been irrelevant for 20 years and will be irrelevant for the next 20 years. So I don't even know what he expected to achieve in Washington.
It was always bizarre. So this is like you're not really sure where the kid's head's at and the people around him. So is it going to continue to be a story now that he's in Utah?
Yeah, I also don't understand. The one thing is, I look at Utah's lineup and I'm like, oh, we got something going here. Lauri Markkanen, Ace Bailey, they'll fit well. Then I'm like, oh, he's in the West. Jeez Louise.
Forget it.
Yeah, like bring in 4 more All-Stars and they might be average in that conference. So that's a hard thing to do. But I think you got to look big picture. If they can convince him, it's very nice to live in Utah. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's a very pretty city. I think if they can convince him to be happy, then basketball-wise, this is a great pick. I would probably give this one an A.
If he's okay with it.
Well, I wouldn't take the risk. I'd still give it an A. If I had to grade this, I'd say taking the best player and hoping everything else falls in line is the smart move.
Okay.
Because he seems significantly better to me than for what they need than the guys behind him. Like, you had to do this deal.
So I'm a little surprised. I understand what you're saying. Like, just bet on the talent and you'll get him to like it, or he'll come around, or whatever. Who knows? It's going to be up to him and his attitude, and I guess the people around him. What I was a little surprised is that your 76ers didn't take the same approach, right? Like, if Ace Bailey really is so far and away and no doubt like the better talent here, or a top talent, I'm surprised because Daryl Morey is the general manager of the 76ers. He kind of gets credited with being like this analytics guru, this sort of cutthroat kind of GM who, takes emotion out of it. And, he did the Sloan Analytics Conference, this big nerdy conference at MIT where all the smart people go and get their calculators out and start crunching numbers in their Excel spreadsheets. And, he was profiled by Michael Lewis, who wrote Moneyball. And he kind of, he has this elevated status, like he's the smartest guy in the room. And yet he's the biggest star chaser. And he's the one who passed on Ace Bailey. And I guess believed that him not wanting to work out was a sign that he was going to be a pain.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's why he passed on Ace Bailey necessarily. I think there's a trend. It seems like the smart NBA people are more into defense these days. And we had Jerry Recco, who calls the Rutgers game. Like, that's not right now where Ace Bailey's interest lies necessarily. He looks like he could be a good defender. Where VJ Edgecombe, when they took a 3, feels like a menace. But the one thing about Morey is he makes these horrible signings of veterans, but he's a good drafter. So you might give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, he might know. He's had a lot of, even in Philly, like, he's made the right pick again and again. So you might give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I don't know, because is this the vibes pick? Because, again, if the talent is the talent, then maybe he got scared off because Ace Bailey didn't want to work out, didn't want to go to dinner, didn't want to do any of that stuff. Meanwhile, for Utah, they said, we'll take the risk. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Raise my eyebrow.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he's earned some, at draft picks, he's earned some credibility over the years. Like, he's never drafted this high, so we have no idea, but he's good at finding guys a little later. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't totally get the VJ Edgecombe thing. It feels like the guards now.